Good morning. May I please ask all our graduands and guests to take their seats? Thank you. Esteemed guests, colleagues, ladies, gentlemen, and most importantly, our graduands of 2025. Good morning and welcome to the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Pledge Ceremony. My name is Florence de Vries, and along with the faculty management team and all our staff, I'd like to extend my congratulations to our students who will pledge to uphold the values of our faculty and those of the professions you are joining. The Health Professionals Pledge is undoubtedly one of the most important commitments made by an individual entering a health profession. We trust that the commitment you make today will serve as your guiding light as you commence your professional career. Before we commence the official pledge ceremony, I'd like to remind you that this event is being live streamed and that a recording of it will be made available thereafter. Please accept my well wishes to each of you as you conclude your academic journey with us today. We will now observe the entrance of the academic procession. Please rise.
Good morning. Goeiemôre, molweni. Please take your seats. My name is Professor Karen Bartjes. I am the Vice Dean of Learning and Teaching at the faculty. On behalf of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, I hereby welcome the following guests to our pledge ceremony for Health Sciences graduates. The family and friends of our graduates, our funding partners, our colleagues from local government, and our guest speaker, Professor Wayne Derman, faculty management, the Deputy Registrar, executive heads of departments, heads of division, program leaders, academic and support staff of the divisions of human nutrition, movement science and exercise therapy, the Department of Nursing and Midwifery, the Division of Occupational Therapy, Physiotherapy, and Speech, Language, and Hearing Therapy. And, most importantly, our graduates of 2025. As the Vice Dean of Learning and Teaching at the faculty, I value the significance of alumni engagement and the role it plays in shaping the future of Stellenbosch University. Being an alum goes beyond mere nostalgia. It's about fostering a lifelong connection with your alma mater and becoming champions of this faculty's values, achievements, and continuous progress. Your engagement with us in the future will enable us to continue to innovate, expand opportunities, and enhance the educational experience, empowering aspiring healthcare professionals such as yourselves to excel and make a meaningful impact in their respective fields. We trust that you will continue to help us in the future to sustain the spirit of excellence that defines our institution. Every year, the faculty invites a special guest to this event to share some words of inspiration as you, our graduates, embark on your exciting new journey. I would like now to introduce you today to Professor Wayne Derman. Wayne Derman stands as one of South Africa's leading figures in sports and exercise medicine. A specialist sports physician and professor at Stellenbosch University, he heads the Division of Sport and Exercise Medicine and co-directs both the IOC Research Centre of South Africa and the FIFA Medical Centre of Excellence. As the current medical director of the International Paralympic Committee, he has long shaped the medical care of athletes on the world stage. His extensive research, influential contributions to Paralympic sports medicine, and more than 300 scholarly publications have earned him wide international recognition. Throughout his distinguished career, Professor Derman has received numerous prestigious awards reflecting his enduring commitment to athlete health, scientific excellence, and service to the broader community. Professor Derman, we look forward to your message this morning.
Dean, Deputy Deans, fellow faculty members, and distinguished guests, proud parents, very proud parents, and most importantly, the oath takers of the class of 2025, good morning. It's an absolutely wonderful privilege and an honor to stand before you today at this pivotal moment. This ceremony, this oath-taking ceremony, is not merely a formality. It's a threshold. You are crossing from the realm of being a student into the realm of a healer, a professional. Now, whichever of these vital clinical disciplines you represent here today, you are embarking on a journey that is as demanding as it is sacred. To care for a patient, to hold another human being's health, dignity, and sometimes their very life is an extraordinary honor. It is a responsibility that will test you, it will break you open, and then it will rebuild you stronger than you are now. But before we look forward, we must look beside us to the other sides of this room. No clinician stands alone. To the parents, the families, the partners, and the friends that are sitting in the audience, this day belongs to you as well. We know the sacrifices you have made. Being a parent of 4 children that have sat in similar situations, I know these sacrifices. We know the late nights, the financial strain and the emotional support during exam stress and other stresses, and the unwavering belief that you held in your graduates' own belief. When they might have wavered, you were there, and you are the unsung heroes of healthcare. Now, I've been asked to share some advice with you. And usually the best way to do that is to look back and ask, what would I tell my younger self? So let me take you back to a similar situation where you guys are now, maybe a year older, and that was at the end of my internship. So I was a young doctor, at the Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital in Soweto in Gauteng. And it was the height of political unrest in our country. And I was working in trauma and emergency care in something called the surgical pit at Barra. And day after day, night after night, I was confronted with the visceral reality of man's inhumanity to man. The violence, the trauma, the sheer volume of suffering. It was absolutely overwhelming. To be honest with you, if I look back, I can understand I was burnt out. And I was turned off from the standard paths of medicine. I looked at the usual specialties, surgery, internal medicine, and I felt nothing but a heavy heart, and I wanted out. In fact, I had my escape route planned. I had a job lined up as the ship's doctor on the Achille Lauro, which later sunk with a big onboard fire, so I'm happy I didn't do that. And after that, I had lined up a stint as the doctor at Club Med, which is a big holiday club. And I literally was running away to these places. But then something happened that really changed the trajectory of my life. I had a conversation with my mentor, the late great Professor Asher Dubb, who was a cardiologist at Baragwanath Hospital. He asked me about my plans, and when I told him about the cruise ship, he looked at me sternly and he said, Wayne, I refuse to let you ruin a potentially very good career. So he asked me one simple question. He said to me, what is your passion? And at that time, my passion wasn't in the ward. It was on the road. I was running about 10 kilometers a day, competing in half marathons and 32K races. And that was my escape and my joy. And Professor Dubbs looked at me sternly and he said, then you've got to marry your passion with your work. So I thought about combining my love for running and my commitment to medicine. The logical answer was something called sports medicine. There's one problem. In those days, there was no such thing. It didn't exist as a specialty and as a career path. But Professor Dubb didn't let that stop us. He said, listen, there's this guy in Cape Town. His name is Tim Noakes. He's doing something similar. It's called sports science. I'm giving you off 2 days. Go and chat to him. So I took my 2 days leave, went to Cape Town, spoke to Tim Noakes, and he told me to come and do sports science first, and then we would look at developing sports medicine together. And the rest, as they say, is history. I stayed in Cape Town, did my honors in sports science, completed my PhD, and through the collaboration of wonderful friends and colleagues, 35 years later, sport and exercise medicine is a recognized specialty alongside surgery, internal medicine, and orthopedics. So what's more important is what did I learn from all that? Firstly, never underestimate the power of a mentor or two. You're entering a profession that is technically very complex and emotionally draining. You cannot navigate it alone. You need a Professor Dubb. You need somebody older, wiser, and perhaps a little tougher than you are to guide your decisions. A mentor is not just a teacher. A teacher gives you information. A mentor gives you perspective. They see the potential in you that perhaps you can't see yourself. And they are the ones that will stop you from ruining a potentially good career because they see the long game where you are stuck in just managing the immediate crisis. So don't wait for a mentor to fall into your laps. Seek them out. Look for the clinicians who still have a spark in their eye after 20 or 25 years of doing what they've done. Ask them out for coffee. Ask them for advice and be humble enough to learn from their battle scars. Second lesson, don't be constrained by the well-beaten path. If I had followed the standard route, I would never have helped to build a new specialty. So my plea to you is open your mind. Expose yourself to disciplines outside your immediate clinical silo. Medicine doesn't exist in a vacuum. Look at economics to understand the systems in which your patients live. Look at engineering to understand the future of prosthetics and rehabilitation. Look at law. Look at the humanities, at music, at art, to understand the human soul that you are treating. Innovation doesn't happen within the discipline necessarily. It happens at the intersection of disciplines. It is through exposure to these other worlds that you will find new ideas to infuse in your chosen careers. The next great breakthrough in occupational therapy might come from an idea in architecture. The next leap in nursing care could be inspired by aviation safety. Be curious. Don't be a technician of the body, be a student of the world. Thirdly, find your passion and marry it with your work. And this is very important because it is the engine of longevity in your career. If you view your work merely as a job, you risk burnout. But if you can align what you love with what you do, you create a renewable sense of energy. Maybe your passion is in technology. Bring that into the sciences. Bring that into surgery. Maybe your passion is in social justice. Bring that into community health. Maybe your passion is in teaching. Then you bring that into patient education. When your work is an extension of who you are, success is not just a goal, it's a byproduct of your enthusiasm. So if I could go back to that young Wayne leaving Baragwanath, are there any other bits of short advice that I would give him? Well, I would tell him to find time to express gratitude every single day. Gratitude is a medicine that should be bottled, and that sounds like a cliche, but it is that for a reason, because it's so true. It does wonderful things for the brain and the soul, and it rewires the brain. Literally, there have been studies on functional MRI which shows the brain changing when it practices gratitude. I was taught this lesson through my transition from the South African Olympic team to the South African Paralympic team. I'll be honest with you, initially, I didn't want to do the change. I had my sights set on the glamour of the Olympics. I didn't want to be involved with the Paralympians. I thought it would be depressing. I thought it would be somehow lesser. Boy, was I wrong. Serving as the team physician for the Paralympic team became perhaps the most meaningful experience of my life. Working with those athletes, I learned about the vast spectrum of human ability and disability. And I saw resilience that really defied all the medical textbooks. But most importantly, I learned not to take my own health and my own ability for granted. I learned to wake up in the morning and wiggle my toes around and take a deep breath without pain and to say thank you. In your careers, you will see sometimes great loss. You'll see the body fail. That must not make you cynical. Let that make you grateful. Be grateful for your own health and be grateful for the trust that patients put in you. Which leads me to my final bit of advice. When things get tough in your career, and they will, look after your health. Strive to maintain balance. There's a dangerous myth in healthcare that we must be martyrs. That you can't be a good clinician unless you sacrifice your own well-being. And that's a lie. It's a dangerous lie. Because as the adage says, you can't pour from an empty cup. Exercise every day. I don't say this because I'm professor of sport and exercise medicine. I say this because the physical, mental, and emotional benefits are not negotiable. Exercise is the best antidepressant. It is the best anxiolytic. It is the best cardioprotective drug that we have. And when the days are long and the outcomes are not so good, when the system frustrates you, go for a run, swim, dance, walk your dog, move your body to clear your mind. Protect your sleep. Absolutely. Any sleep is good sleep. Nurture your relationships. You're a human being first and a clinician second. Never forget that. So, class of 2025, you're stepping into a world that needs you desperately. It needs your skill, yes, but needs more than that. It needs your humanity. So, it needs you to find mentors who challenge you. It needs you to look beyond your textbooks for inspiration. It needs you to bring your unique passions into your work setting. It needs you to practice gratitude, and it needs you to be healthy, whole, and happy. So go out there, marry your passion with your work, and make us all proud.
Thank you, Professor Derman, Wayne, for those very insightful message that you provided to us. Your impressive career trajectory and your expertise has really profoundly enriched our ceremony this morning, so we really appreciate it. It's, I'm sure, left a lasting impression on everyone here, so thank you very much. So, colleagues, it's now time for our graduates to make their pledge. This is a pledge made in public to uphold the values of the faculty and the profession that you are joining. So you will be invited to stand and read the pledge together with me. And after this reading, you will sign our pledge book that remains in the safekeeping of the faculty. And you will receive a copy of the pledge in the 3 official languages of this province: English, Afrikaans, and isiXhosa, which you are welcome to sign afterwards. So we will have first have the reading of the pledge in Afrikaans and then in isiXhosa. When these 2 versions have been read, I will request all our graduates to stand up and please read the health professionals pledge together with me. So please stand while we listen to the Afrikaans pledge reading by Leila Engelbrecht.
Goeiemôre. Ek onderneem uit vrye wil en met verskuldigde eerbied om 'n professionele geneeskundige te wees wat mense respekteer, na myself omsien en ander met waardigheid, integriteit en deernis behandel. Ek ag waarde aan wie ek is en kan word, net soveel soos wat ek waarde heg aan wie ander is en kan word. Ek sal ten alle tye poog om pasiënte se vertroulikheid te verseker en die hoogste etiese standaarde in praktyk te handhaaf. In 'n immer veranderende wêreld sal ek 'n nuuskierige, kreatiewe en nadenkende professionele gesondheidswerker bly, wat respek betoon vir diverse ideologieë, idees, kontekste en oplossings, wat vir mense, gemeenskappe en bevolking saak maak. Ek verbind my daartoe om 'n voorspraak vir sosiale geregtigheid te wees. En ek sal my bearbei om die lewensomstandighede en versorgingservarings sowel as gesondheidsuitkomste van diegene wat in my sorg toevertrou word te verbeter. Ek aanvaar my verantwoordelikheid om te help om 'n volhoubare toekoms vir almal te bou, deur hulpbronne met sorg, kreatiwiteit en ywer aan te wend. Ten slotte sal ek ten alle tye poog om sorg te voorsien wat hulp verleen en geen skade berokken.
The isiXhosa pledge reading by Lina Mandla Kambi.
Mna ndifunga ndikhululekile nangokuzithoba, ndisithi ndiyakuba yingcali yezempilo. Ebahloniphayo abantu, ezikhathaleleyo nephatha abanye abantu ngesidima, imfezeko nothando. Ndimxabisile lo mntu endinguye, nalowo ndiyakuze ndibe nguye, nanjengoko ndibaxabisile nabanye, noko bakuko kwanoko baya kuba kuko. Ndiza kuzama ngamaxesha onke ukuzigusha iimfihlo zezigulane, kwaye ndibambelele kweyona migangatho yokuziphatha iphezulu emsebenzini wam. Kweli hlabathi liguquguquka mihla le, ndiza kuhlala ndiyingcali yezempilo eqavileyo, eyilayo neqiqayo, ezihloniphayo indlela zokucinga ezingafaniyo, iimbono, iimeko nezisombululo ezixabisekileyo ebantwini, eluntwini nakwilizwe ngokubanzi. Ndiza kusebenzisana nabanye njengamahlakani am, endilinganayo nawo ukuzama ukuba ngogqwesayo kwinkathalo ejoliswe kumntu ngamnye. Ndizibophelela ekubeni ngummeli wobulungisa kwintlalo, osebenzela ukuphucula iimeko zokuphila, inkathalo efunyanwa ngabo ndinikwe uxanduva lokubakhathalela, kwaye ndiphucule neziphumo zempilo yabo ngokunjalo. Ndiyalwamkela uxanduva lokuncedisa ukwakha ikamva eliqhubekekayo, lakhe wonke ubani ngokusebenzisa imithombo ngenkathalo, ubuchule nenkuthalo. Okokugqibela, ngawo onke amaxesha ndiza kuzama ukubonelela ngenkathalo encedayo, ingeyiyo eyenzakalisayo. Enkosi.
Thank you to Leila and Lena Mandla. So I now request all of you, all the graduands, to please read the Health Professionals Pledge with me. I freely and humbly pledge to be a health professional who respects people, cares for myself, and treats others with dignity, integrity, and compassion. I value who I am and can become as much as I value others for who they are and can become. I shall strive at all times to maintain patient confidentiality and to uphold the highest ethical standards in my practice. In an ever-changing world, I shall remain a curious, creative, and reflective health professional, respecting diverse ideologies, ideas, contexts, and solutions which matter to people, communities, and populations. I shall work with others as equal partners in striving for excellence in person-centered care. I commit to being an advocate for social justice, working to improve the living conditions, care, experiences, and health outcomes of those entrusted to my care. I accept my responsibility to help build a sustainable future for all by using resources with care, creativity, and diligence. Finally, I will at all times endeavor to provide care that helps and does no harm. Thank you. Please take your seats. Thank you very much. I now call upon Professor Miller, our Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, to please read the names of our graduates in BSc Honours in Biokinetics, and Professor Karen Wellman, Head of the Division of Movement Science and Exercise Therapy, to present them with their pledge scrolls and prizes.
So I would like to ask you not to give acknowledgement after each student, but that we give acknowledgement after the whole group has received their pledge certificates. It's really an honor now to announce the names of the graduates of the BSc Honours in Biokinetics programs. So if you come up to the stage, please pose for a photo with Prof. Wellman, and she will then present the scroll to you. Binnekate Kaylin Ashley. Blair Shane Rees with a distinction in his research project 773. Bradley Erin Fay. Kaysen Bronwyn Sheehan, Distinctions in Biokinetics Practice 772. She is also a member of the research group of students who win the Best Research Presentation Award. The other prize winners' names will be announced when their names are read later in the program. Dodd Georgia Stephanie, Distinction in Research Project 773. Girdleston Emma Nicole Maria. Holmes Gabriella Colleen, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in Exercise 771, Biokinetics Practice 772, and her research project 773. Razak Jacobs. Jenna Catherine Lower-Clark, who passes the degree cum laude with 2 distinctions in Biokinetics Practice 772 and her research project 773. Mika Lawrence, she's another member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Caitlin Emma Moreland. Hanru Heinrich Müller, with 2 distinctions in Biokinetics Practice 772 and his research project 773. Marta Magdalena Nel. Charlize Prince, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in Biokinetics Practice, research project, and ergonomics. She's also another member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Kirsten Lee Stewart, with 2 distinctions in Biokinetics Practice 772 and her research project 773. Abigail Samantha van Rooyen. And Abigail Wagner, with a distinction in her research project 773. It now gives me pleasure to announce the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences medals for the top achiever in academia, outstanding graduate in the BSc Honours in Biokinetics. The top academic achiever medal is awarded to the graduate who achieved the highest marks for the entire degree. And in this case, it is 75%. So for the BSc Honours in Biokinetics, this is awarded to Charlize Prince. The Biokinetics Association of South Africa Medal for Best All-Rounder is awarded to the graduate who is both academically sound and has been seen to live our faculty values and epitomizes our vision of a future healthcare practitioner. It gives me great pleasure to announce the winner of the BASA Best All-Rounder Medal as Jenna Lower-Clark. That brings us to the end of our celebration of the BSc Honours in Biokinetics graduates. Please give ourselves and each one of these candidates a round of applause. I will now announce the names of the graduates of the BSc in Physiotherapy program. Please note that I will also be announcing the individual module prizes, and I would like to request Prof. Conran Joseph, the head of the Division of Physiotherapy, to join me to congratulate each of the graduates and present the scrolls and prizes. Graduates are requested to pose again for a photo with Prof. Conran, who will present the scroll and prize to you. Anika Abdul, with 3 distinctions in applied physiotherapy, research methods, and physiotherapy practice. She's also a member of the research group of students who performed the best in a module research methodology. The other prize winners' names will be announced as we read them in the program. Danelle Hannah Africa, with 3 distinctions in applied physiotherapy, research methods, and physiotherapy practice. Adam Ahmed, Keisha Arendse, with a distinction in research methods, and she is also a member of the research group of students who performed the best in the module research methodology. Azra Bandeker, with a distinction in research methods. She is also a member of the research group of students who performed the best in the module research methodology. Elriet Botha, Cheyenne Leisha Bunding, with a distinction in research methods, and another member of the research group of students who performed best in a module research methodology. Margaretha Elisabeth Coetzee, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in applied physiotherapy, clinical physiotherapy, and physiotherapy practice. Sesethu Dinga, Lara Du Plessis, with 2 distinctions in applied physiotherapy and research methods. Stefanie Frenzel, who passes the degree cum laude with 4 distinctions in applied physiotherapy, clinical physiotherapy, research methods, and physiotherapy practice. She's another member of the research groups of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. And she also wins the prize for the physiotherapy student who performed the best in the module clinical physiotherapy. This prize is sponsored by the Division of Physiotherapy. She wins the prize for the best performance in a module physiotherapy practice, sponsored by the South African Physiotherapy Association. And she wins the prize for the physiotherapy student who performed the best in the module applied physiotherapy, sponsored by the Division of Physiotherapy. Bakang Cornelius Gaseyewe, Ria Vaksha Govender, with a distinction in research methods, and another member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Rayabi Bibi Groenewald, Chandri Gys, with a distinction in research methods. Cassidy Jade Hector, with a distinction in research methods. Nicola Herbst, who passes the degree cum laude with 2 distinctions in applied physiotherapy and research methods. Anke Bertina Horn, with a distinction in research methods. Lina Mandla Kambi. Sharika Kruner, with a distinction in applied physiotherapy. Diana Langenhoven with a distinction in applied physiotherapy. Menai Carissa Leroux with a distinction in research methods and is also a member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Amara Mahomet with a distinction in research methods. Kekeletsu Mail. Ziyanda Mayongola with a distinction in research methods. Tabitha Misiwe Makate. Magabanyane Gift Mametja with a distinction in applied physiotherapy and who wins the prize for the student in physiotherapy for outstanding determination and professionalism during the degree program. The prize is sponsored by the South African Physiotherapy Association. Ayanda Mosa Matubatuba with a distinction in research methods and also a member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Telisha Naidu with 2 distinctions in applied physiotherapy and research methods. She's also a member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Setimbila Ngwenya with 2 distinctions in applied physiotherapy and research methods. Robin Chelsea Niekerk with a distinction in research methods. Jude Benjamin Ontong. Zamahlubi Senamile Radebe. Marteli Roux with 2 distinctions in research methods and physiotherapy practice. She's another member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Tyler Ann Senekal. Hanan Sheikji. Jenna Lawrence Smart with 2 distinctions in applied physiotherapy and research methods. She is also a member of the research group of students who wins the Best Research Presentation Award. Yesurun Smit. Alsari Strauss. Mamoloko Letabo Temu with a distinction in research methods. Tebe Matthews Chirang. Dornique Anne van Wyk with a distinction in research methods. Catherine Elizabeth Westraat with a distinction in research methods. And Cassidy Portia Williams with a distinction in physiotherapy practice. It now gives me great pleasure to announce the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Medal for the top academic achiever and outstanding graduate in the BSc Physiotherapy. The top academic achiever medal is awarded to the graduate who achieved the highest mark for their entire degree. This person had for BSc in Physiotherapy 1, 82% average, year 2, 83% average, in year 3, 77% average, and in year 4, a 78% average, which means in total for the degree, her average was 80.47%. And this is awarded to Stefanie Frenzel. The Outstanding Graduate Medal is awarded to the graduate who is both academically sound, has been seen to live our faculty values, and epitomizes our vision for a future healthcare practitioner. It gives me great pleasure to announce that our Outstanding Graduate Medal in BSc in Physiotherapy is awarded to Gift Mameche. That brings us to the end of our celebration of our physiotherapy graduates. Please give ourselves and each other a big round of applause. I'll now announce the names of the graduates of the BSc in Dietetics program. I would like to request that Dr. Lynette Daniels, the program lead for the BSc in Dietetics program, join me to congratulate each of the dietetics students. Please note that I will be announcing again individual module prizes, and as before, just pose for a quick photo with Dr. Daniels, who will present the scroll and the prize to you. Our first student, Ebony Lindiwe Buys. Rutondwa Confidence Davhana. Leila Engelbrecht with distinction in Community Nutrition and Food Service Management. Diego Kirk Farmer with a distinction in Research Methodology. Abby Grace Hatton, who passes the degree cum laude with distinctions in Community Nutrition, Food Service Management, Therapeutic Nutrition, and Research Methodology, who wins the prize for the student in dietetics who performed the best in the module Research Methodology, sponsored by Sanlam, the Professional Providence Society, and Woolworths. Carlay Himan with 2 distinctions in Research Methodology and Food Service Management. Labika Jacobs, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in Research Methodology, Food Service Management, and Community Nutrition. Yasmin Kazi with 2 distinctions in Research Methodology and Food Service Management. Michaela Maria Kruger, who passes the degree cum laude with 4 distinctions in Community Nutrition, Food Service Management, Therapeutic Nutrition, and Research Methodology, who also wins the prize for the student who performed the best in the module Therapeutic Nutrition, who also wins the prize for the student in Dietetics who performed the best in the module Community Nutrition, and who also wins the prize for the best final year dietetic student. These prizes sponsored by Sanlam, the Professional Providence Society, and Woolworths. Shuyu Lee with a distinction in Research Methodology. Natasha Anita Ludik, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in Research Methodology, Food Service Management, and Community Nutrition, who wins the prize for the student who performed the best in the module Food Service Management, the prize once again sponsored by Sanlam, Professional Providence Society, and Woolworths. Samkelu Ngome Zulu Food Service Management distinction. Hannah Moller with a distinction in Food Service Management. Dakalo Lorraine Mufamadi with a distinction in Food Service Management. Gonse Kumu Marcelino Nyakale with a distinction in Community Nutrition. Martine Olivier with 2 distinctions in Research Methodology and Food Service Management. Kate Sarah Rolf with 2 distinctions in Research Methodology and Food Service Management. Nicoline Rousseau with 3 distinctions in Research Methodology, Food Service Management, and Community Nutrition. James Paul Turner. Katrien van Eden with a distinction in Food Service Management. Erin Caitlin Vengadajalam. Larette Foster with 2 distinctions in Community Nutrition and Food Service Management. It now gives me great pleasure to announce the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Medal for the top academic achiever and outstanding graduate in the BSc in Dietetics. The top academic achiever medal is awarded to the graduate who achieved the highest mark for the entire degree. In this case, the first year average 82%, second year 84%, third year 82%, and fourth year 78%, which means the average for the total degree is 81.95%. For BSc in Dietetics, this was awarded to Natasha Ludik. The Outstanding Graduate Medal is awarded to the graduate who is both academically sound, has been seen to live our faculty values, and epitomizes our vision of a future healthcare practitioner. It gives me great pleasure to call Natasha Ludik back to receive this award. It now gives me great pleasure to announce the Dean's Award for Leadership. The award is for an outstanding student who has demonstrated exceptional academic performance, upheld the faculty's values, and exhibited strong leadership qualities. This year, I chose this award to go to Natasha Ludik. So this brings us to the end of the celebration of our Dietetics graduates. Please give everybody a round of applause. Thank you. I will now announce the names of the graduates of the B Occupational Therapy program. Professor Lizanne Kloete, the head of the Division of Occupational Therapy, will join me to congratulate each graduate. Once again, I want to remind you to collect your scroll and pose for a photograph with Prof. Kloete. Truwin Derek Appel with a distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy. Tegan Tyra Davids with a distinction in Occupational Therapy Practical, and who wins the prize for the student in Occupational Therapy for the best management of a community project. The prize is sponsored by the private practitioner sector in Stop. Hiletje Johanna de Villiers with 2 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Theory and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Esther de Wet, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Theory, Occupational Therapy Practical, and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Zara Ibrahim with a distinction in Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Radia Fakir. Timon Fredericks with a distinction in Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy, and also a member of the research group of students who wins the prize for the best research project. The prize is sponsored by the Occupational Therapy Association of South Africa and Usebenza, the Work Evaluation Unit, Division of Occupational Therapy. Kate Galloway with 2 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Practical and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy, and also a member of the research group of students who wins the prize for the best research project. Caitlin Hannah Gangia with 2 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Practical and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy, and who also wins 2 prizes, the student in Occupational Therapy with Outstanding Achievement in Clinical Work in the final year, sponsored by the Occupational Therapy Division, and the prize for the best student in Occupational Therapy for a professional behavior during clinical work, sponsored by the Occupational Therapy Division. Rebecca Green. Chris Marie Grobler with 2 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Practical and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Alexandra Michelle Hammer with 2 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Theory and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy, and also a member of the research group of students who wins the prize for the best research project. Mia Lee Harley with a distinction in Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Taryn Ann Jabour with 3 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Theory, Occupational Therapy Practical, and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Kayla Samantha Johnson. Lyle Golwyn Jordan. Stacey Koopman. Lindelwa Kubeka with 2 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Practical and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Mia Lee Loubser, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Theory, Occupational Therapy Practical, and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Kwanda Felicia Madikane. Amon Desai Mason with distinctions in Occupational Therapy Practical. Marzan Mattia. Karen Maynard with 2 distinctions in Occupational Therapy Practical and Research Methodology in Occupational Therapy. Kaylin McWilliams. Amogelang Moahi who wins the potential prize for a student representing the occupational therapy profession with integrity and passion. This is a shared prize. The second prize winner will be announced later in the program. Atiya Murat with a distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy. Boitumelo Olerato Mokayani with 2 distinctions in occupational therapy practical and research methodology in occupational therapy. Erin Renee Mutri with a distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy. Datum Grace Nicolai with a distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy. Nonhle Amelia Nkambule, who shares the potential prize for a student who represented the occupational therapy profession with integrity and passion. Samantha Lee Parsons with 3 distinctions in occupational therapy theory, occupational therapy practical, and research methodology in occupational therapy. Tasmika Paither with a distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy. Mariska Lydia Pieterse with a distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy and another member of the research group who wins the prize for the best research project. Karen Alexander Quiding with 3 distinctions in occupational therapy theory, occupational therapy practical, and research methodology in occupational therapy. Charmian Jacinta Randlehoff. Cherise Reineke, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in occupational therapy theory, occupational therapy practical, and research methodology in occupational therapy. Kanyisa Glory Chalala with distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy. Kate Tully with 3 distinctions in occupational therapy theory, occupational therapy practical, and research methodology in occupational therapy. Anaila Wagley with a distinction in research methodology in occupational therapy. It now gives me great pleasure to announce the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences medals for the top academic achiever and outstanding graduate of B of Occupational Therapy. Once again, the person with the highest marks for the entire degree. In this case, the first year average was 80.9%, second year 82.75%, third year 73%, fourth year 79%, with an average of 79.36% for the entire degree. For the B in Occupational Therapy, this is awarded to Esther de Wet. The Outstanding Graduate Medal is awarded to the graduate who's both academically sound, has been seen to live our faculty values, and epitomizes our vision of a future healthcare practitioner. It gives me great pleasure to announce our recipient of the Outstanding Graduate Medal in the B of Occupational Therapy as Samantha Parsons. That brings us to the end of our celebration of occupational therapy graduates. Please give ourselves and each other a big round of applause. I will now announce the names of the graduates in speech, language, and hearing therapy. I would like to request that Dr. Bernard Gerber, the head of the Division of Speech, Language, and Hearing Therapy, join me to congratulate each graduate and present the scrolls and prizes. Arthur Abrams with the distinction in Speech Therapy 472. Mahmouda Abrams. Danelle Adams. Simone Anderson with 2 distinctions in Speech Therapy 472 and 478. Megan Bartels with 2 distinctions in Speech Therapy 472 and 478. Cara Berg, also with 2 distinctions in Speech Therapy 472 and 478. Jana de Waal, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in Speech Therapy 411, 478 and Clinical Speech Pathology 474, who wins the South African Speech, Language and Hearing Association Prize for the Best Final Year Student in Speech Therapy, Clinical, sponsored by the South African Speech, Language and Hearing Association, and who also wins the P. de Vere Pinaar Prize for the Best Final Year Student in Speech Therapy, Academic. Monique Constance Edwards with a distinction in Speech Therapy 472 and is also a member of the research group of students who wins the A.B. Clemens Award for the Best Undergraduate Research Project, sponsored by the South African Speech, Language and Hearing Association. Anja Chiara Engelbrecht with 2 distinctions in Speech Therapy 411 and 478. Cassidy France with a distinction in Speech Therapy 478. Ndlavutelu Precious Khoza. Owetu Nontutuzelo Makosana with a distinction in Speech Therapy 472 and also a member of the research group of students who wins the A.B. Clemens Award for the Best Undergraduate Research Project. Tuarisani Rirhansu Mashele with a distinction in Speech Therapy 478. Siabonga Elias Mnisi with a distinction in Speech Therapy 478. Zoe Mock with a distinction in Speech Therapy 472 and 478. Taylor Miller with a distinction in Speech Therapy 472. Sibahle Faith Ndlovu with 2 distinctions in Speech Therapy 472 and 478. Busisiwe Ndoya with 2 distinctions in Speech Therapy 472 and 478 and also a member of the research group of students who wins the A.B. Clemens Award for the Best Undergraduate Research Project. Caitlin Saunders with a distinction in Speech Therapy 411. Annika Sevenster with a distinction in speech therapy 478. Chris Marie Strauss. Igmarie Janay Strueveld, who passes the degree cum laude with 4 distinctions in speech therapy 411, 472, 478, and clinical speech pathology 474. Siniat Charissa Volkwyn with a distinction in speech therapy 478. Marilee Frey with 2 distinctions in speech therapy 472 and 478. And Cleo Tony Warner with 2 distinctions in speech therapy 411 and 472. It now gives me pleasure to announce the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Medal for the Top Academic Achiever and Outstanding Graduate Medal in the B of Speech, Language and Hearing Therapy. Once again, the highest mark for the entire degree. The achievement in year 1, 86%, year 2, 79%, year 3, 78%, year 4, 78%, which means the average for the degree is 80.87%. For the B of Speech, Language and Hearing Therapy, this medal is awarded to Jana de Waal. The Outstanding Graduate Medal is awarded to the graduate who is both academically sound, has been seen to live our faculty values, and epitomizes our vision for a future healthcare practitioner. It gives me great pleasure to announce our Best Outstanding Graduate Award in B of Speech and Language and Hearing Therapy to Sibahle Ndlovu. So that brings us to the end of our celebration of speech and language therapy. So please give everybody a big round of applause. I will now announce the names of the graduates of the Bachelor of Nursing program. I would like to request that Mrs. Talita van Skalkwyk, who is the acting program coordinator for the B of Nursing program, join me to congratulate each of the nursing graduates. I will also once again be announcing the individual module prizes, then after that, the graduates are requested to return to their seats before making their way back to the front, where we will be observing the lamp lighting and the reading of the Nursing Professionals Pledge and Credo with Mrs. Talita van Skalkwyk from our Department of Nursing and Midwifery. Amina Ali. Rivka Benjamin with distinctions in Praxis of Nursing and Midwifery Sciences 4. Ruth Benson with distinction in Contextual Health and Nursing Care, Praxis of Nursing and Midwifery Sciences 4. Micheline Nasli-Beukes, Keshni Bezik, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions in contextual health and nursing care, community health promotion, and practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Veronique Blau, who passes the degree cum laude with distinctions in contextual health and nursing care, maternal and newborn care. Brayton Brand, Hester Charlotte Breach with a distinction in practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Lisa Deprier, Nikita Ferreira Henriks, who passes the degree cum laude with distinctions in contextual health and nursing care, community health promotion, and practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Erin Ivana Fredericks with a distinction in community health promotion. Weimar Hattang, Alinka Joubert, Josie Joubert with a distinction in practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Mulanga Kanhale with distinction in contextual health and nursing care. Wafudi Kamola, and our next graduate, Zoe Knutzer, who passes the degree cum laude with distinctions in contextual health and nursing care, practice of nursing and midwifery sciences, and maternal and newborn care. Lilita Landule with a distinction in practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Musandiwa Madala. Zotile Zoe Maluka with distinctions in community health promotion, practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Caitlin Marcel Manuels. Saskia Marais. Tembelihle Matibela with a distinction in practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Nicola Rebecca Middleton. Kekeletso Mtu. Tibogo David Mughlalo. Glumelo Abinati Muton. Vincent Given Naidu with a distinction in practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Avoyului Nkabangana. Thomas Ngwenya, who wins the award in recognition of a student who has shown significant determination, resilience, and commitment to their personal as well as professional growth in the face of complex challenges during the B nursing program. This person shows potential to be a leader and a sound professional role model in nursing and midwifery. The prize is sponsored by Life Healthcare. Vumboni Nkwashu, with distinctions in contextual health and nursing care and praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences, and who also wins the award in recognition of the student who has consistently shown their commitment to and passion for nursing and midwifery across the 4 years of the B nursing program. This person is seen as a sound professional role model, an advocate showing self-awareness and openness to learning. They are a leader in the B nursing program, consistently professional, kind, show integrity in any care encounter across all learning environments to the people they care for as well as the people they care with. The prize is sponsored by Life Healthcare. Congratulations. Lifiwe Nkonyane, Julia Tamarin Peters, with a distinction in practice of nursing and midwifery sciences. Taryn Lee Plaatjes, who passes the degree cum laude with 3 distinctions, contextual health and nursing care, praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences, and maternal and newborn care, and who also wins the award in recognition of the student who has epitomized being person-centered in their interactions with the people they care for, the people they care with, fellow students, and academic staff. This person shows respect for themselves, other people, and the world around them, treats people with dignity, care, and gentleness. The student places the uniqueness of each person they encounter at the core of their interactions, and the prize is sponsored by Life Healthcare. Aisha Said, with a distinction of praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences. Sakile Pumlane Sambo, Claudia Setwane, and our next candidate, our next candidate, colleagues, is Karabo Setsepu. Natalia Teresa Lee Smith, with distinctions in praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences and community health promotion. Sunay Smith. Meline Strydom, with distinctions in community health promotion, praxis of nursing, and midwifery sciences. Avril Ann Elaine Sylvester, with distinctions in praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences and maternal and newborn care, and who wins the award in recognition of a student's excellence in clinical practical learning in midwifery. This award is made in recognition of a student who has shown outstanding development, consistent excellence in all components of clinical practice learning. Their person-centered caring presence is evident in their interactions with all people in clinical learning sites, in care encounters, and in class. And the prize is sponsored by Life Healthcare. Adriana van der Spy, who passes the degree cum laude with distinctions in contextual health and nursing care and praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences. Olivia van der Walt, who passes the degree cum laude with distinctions in community health promotion, praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences. Vernel Amber van Zyl with a distinction in praxis of nursing and midwifery sciences. Nicola Viljoen. And Mila Zondag, who has distinctions in community health promotion and praxis of nursing midwifery sciences, and who also wins the award in recognition of a student's excellent in clinical practice learning in comprehensive nursing. This award is made in recognition of a student who has shown outstanding development and consistent excellence in all components of clinical practice learning. Their person-centered, caring presence is evident in their interactions with all people in clinical learning sites, in care encounters, and in class. And once again, the prize is sponsored by Life Healthcare. It now gives me great pleasure to announce the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Medal for the Top Academic Achiever and Outstanding Graduate in Nursing. The Top Academic Achiever Medal is awarded to the graduate who achieved the highest mark for their entire degree. This is an average of 76 in first year, 81 in second year, 78 in third year, and 77 in the fourth year, with a total average of 79%. And this is awarded to Zoe Knutzer. The Outstanding Graduate Medal is awarded to the graduate who is both academically sound, has been seen to live our faculty values, and epitomizes our vision of a future healthcare practitioner. It gives me great pleasure to announce our recipient of the Outstanding Graduate Medal in BE of Nursing, to Vumboni Nkwashu. That brings us now to the end of our celebration of the nursing graduates, so please give everybody a big round of applause. I would now like to invite Ms. Talita van Skalkwyk from the Department of Nursing and Midwifery to read the Nursing Credo and the Nurses' Pledge as part of the lamplighting ceremony. I see Prof. Portia Jordan is doing it. Prof. Portia Jordan is our Executive Head of the Department of Nursing and Midwifery.
The need of mankind for healthcare and the commitment and compassion of persons of the awareness over centuries of this need gave to the world the profession of nursing. Today, my young colleagues, you are officially entering into the profession of nursing by taking the oath in front of God and everyone else. You are committing yourself to service delivery true to the norms and ethical principles of the nursing profession. I want to share with you the following light beacons of the late Professor Charlotte Searle, which should be alive in our belief and understanding of what nursing is and should become visible in the practice of every nurse. These light beacons are: nursing is a belief in the essential worth of every human life and in the divine reason for the existence of this life. Nursing is faith, faith in continual source of inner strength that assists us in doing what is expected of us. Nursing is yearning, a yearning to be a worthy servant of humanity and an effective instrument of science. Nursing is acceptance, acceptance of the fact that every human being is unique and that nursing is a professional service to mankind. Nursing is transcending the nurse-patient relationship to a human being relationship. Nursing is conservation and change, the conservation of a precious human being through change. Nursing is assistance and support, not only to those who are dependent on health care, but also to those who render care. Nursing is a science, a clinical human health science for service to the community. Nursing is the therapeutic use of self. It is love made visible. I invite all nurses in the audience to use the opportunity to reaffirm their commitment to the realization of the norms and values of the nursing profession through participating in the taking of the pledge. And I now request our candidates to come forward and take the pledge. Thank you.
Can I ask that Weimar Hatting come and read the Afrikaans pledge and Lilita Landule the Xhosa pledge?
Ek verbind myself plegtig in diens van die mensdom en onderneem om my beroep na my gewete en my waardigheid te beoefen. Ek sal alles in my vermoë doen om die eerbaarheid en die edele tradisies van my beroep te handhaaf. Die algehele gesondheid van my pasiënte sal my eerste oorweging wees. Ek sal die persoonlike sake waarvan ek te wete mag kom in vertroue bewaar. Ek sal nie toelaat dat oorwegings van godsdiens, nasionaliteit, ras of sosiale aansien tussen my pligte en my pasiënte kom nie. Ek sal die hoogste agting vir menselewens handhaaf Ek lê hierdie beloftes plegtig, vrywilliglik en op my erewoord af.
Ndiyafunga ekuzinikeleni emsebenzini woluntu ngawo onke amaxesha. Ndiyokwenza umsebenzi wam ngesazela nangesidima. Ndiyokulugcina ngoko konke okusemandleni am, ubizo nezithethe zomsebenzi wam. Impilo yezigulana zam iyokuba yingqalelo yam yokuqala. Ndiyokulugcina ngemfihlo zonke iinkcukacha zomntu endithe ndeva ngazo. Andisoze ndivumele iimbono zobunkonzo, ubuzwe, ubuhlanga okanye ubume zime phakathi kwam nomsebenzi wam nezigulana zam. Ndiyokuhlala ndibuhlonele ubomi bomntu. Ndenza ezi zithembiso ngokunyanisekileyo nangokukhululekileyo.
Thank you so much for participating in this wonderful dedication to the nursing profession. It is really an honor to be witness to it, and I would like to invite everybody to just take their seats before we proceed with the next phase. I would now like to invite Professor Nico Gey van Pittius, our Vice Dean for Research and Internationalization, to close today's proceedings.
Thank you, Professor Miller and colleagues, and congratulations once again to all our graduates. Let's give another round of applause. So it was very heartwarming to see all the research distinctions. So as the Vice Dean of Research, I hope that means you all come back for postgraduate studies. So the faculty would like to thank a few people for their contributions today. Firstly, our guest speaker, Professor Wayne Derman, thank you very much for an inspiring talk today. Our special guests, Merle Victor and Briony Burning, DPK Productions for the technical support for the event, Wanda de Jager and Megan Salon, the Center for Academic Administration and the Marketing and Communications Division for the pledge ceremony arrangements, the faculty and university staff and student helpers supporting these colleagues, SU Photographic Services, the numerous funders and donors who have contributed to the success of our graduates, especially the staff and public who have contributed to our Itemba Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Bursary Fund. The family, friends, and significant others of our graduates, let's give them a round of applause. The academic, clinical, and administrative staff that have contributed to our graduate success, including the student affairs and administrative and support staff, whose efforts often go unseen in supporting our students outside of the academic spaces. And then lastly, our graduates, thank you for choosing Stellenbosch University as your academic home for a significant part of your 20s. We would love to have you return in future to pursue further studies. We wish you well on your community service and hope that you will keep in touch with your alma mater. Before we conclude the proceedings, I would just like to invite everyone to join the faculty staff for refreshments in the cafeteria area below. And please remember to take all your personal belongings as well as any water bottles with you, please. So friends, graduates, family, everyone, thank you for attending today. This concludes the proceedings for the Health Sciences Pledge Ceremony. You are now please requested to stand and remain standing until after the academic procession has left the hall. Please rise.